everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Hiba and this is my little journal. Today I'm going to be working in my scrappy spiral notebook documenting my October daily. And as you can see, I'm just flipping through, sharing with you what I've gotten done so far. But today we're going to skip day 5. We're going to jump into day 6, 7, and 8. I decided to skip day 5 because I wanted to document the Arab festival here in Atlanta, and I wasn't sure how I wanted to document it yet. And at some point, I will go back to it and document day 5, and hopefully I can share it with you soon. Anyways, let's move on to day 6, where I'm going to be documenting spooky movies. Anyways, let's move on and start documenting day 6. So I went through my papers knowing that I had this paper that looked like film strips. And I thought it would be perfect to add photos of the movies and shows that I want to watch in October. And I kind of play with it a little bit, try to figure out where I want to add each photo. And once I figure it out, I'm going to stick them down. I'm going to have to trim down some of my photos, but I was very strategic with it. I wanted to make sure I don't trim off anything important. Now that I'm done sticking down my photos, I'm just going to clean it up. I'm going to trim off any photos that are falling off the edge of my page. And I'm going to actually end up using the other half of my pattern paper. I felt like it would be fun to create layering on the opposite side. And so I'm just going to add one more strip of the film. And then I'm going to use some of my 2x2 cards to add some layering. I love the Scream Queen. I think that's what it said. It's just from Studio Calico. It's adorable and it just fit the theme. So I'm going to end up using that. I'm also going to be stamping my numbers. And then I thought this was the perfect page for a large title. Remember that I have a bunch of color cast design wood veneers. These are large titles that I wouldn't be able to use on a different page. Not a different page, but in my columns if I was just using a column. But it works perfectly on a page like this. It's big, it's large, and I just love how it looks against the black background. I also am going to be using this little dog ghost. He's so adorable. Now, I wish I moved him slightly to the right, I believe, or the left actually, and created more of a layering, but it's not a big deal. It's a sticker, so I can peel it off and redo it. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and complete my page by stamping a few bats around my title. I'm also going to grab my Haunted Nights PET tape and use some of the stickers from that tape. I wanted to fill in some of the boxes. I think I end up using a balloon and some of the googly eyes, and it actually turned out really, really cute. Complete my page, I'm just going to grab my white Jelly Roll pen and I'm just going to add a little bit of highlights to my title and I believe the balloon as well, just so they can stand out a little bit more against that black background. I'm finally done with prompt number 6. Now we can move on to prompt number 7, where I'm going to be documenting candy. My favorite candy by far is gummy worms, and not any gummy worms. The gummy worms I pick up from Sprouts. They are so good. I don't know what they put in them, but they are addictive. And so I decided that I'm going to document that. I created my column in Canva, and I'm just going to pretty it up with my embellishments. I could have used my own digital embellishments from older kits, but I really want to use some of my stash. And also this adds some dimension to my layout. So I decided to go through my own stash, and I found a few that I really liked. And I'm going to move things around a little bit until I figure out how I want my embellishments to sit on my spread. Once I get the hang of it, I'm going to go ahead and stick them down. I'm basically just going to create a cluster right above my journaling, and then I'll end up adding this little banner between my journaling and photo. Now for the candy chipboard, I don't want to add too much bulk to my notebook. It is on spirals, so I have to keep that in mind. So I ended up removing a lot of that backing of the chipboard, and I flattened it out a little bit so it just doesn't add too much bulk if it was a chipboard. I hope I'm making sense. But anyways, I'm gonna just layer my embellishments. And I also need to stamp my number. Now, because I have no space to stamp my larger numbers from Studio Calico, I end up using my own planet stamp set to stamp number 7. So the 07, it's smaller, and I can stamp it in the corner and be done with it. I usually like to use the same numbers throughout my journal, but sometimes some layouts I cannot fit it in there. So I'm a-okay switching it up a little bit. You won't even notice when you're flipping through the journal. And as you can see, that came together so quickly because I did most of the work on Canva. Now for day 8, I did the same exact thing. I created this layout on Canva, and I'm documenting my dog's poor toys. Stitch always destroys his toys, and I thought it was a funny story. I usually document his toys that basically made it to the graveyard. And so you'll see that I struggled a little bit with stamping my numbers just because I'm using this new photo paper to me. I'm not a big fan. I think it's probably bad quality, but I do want to use it as much as possible so I don't waste it. And so it's really hard to stamp on that paper. But anyways, I added a little embellishment to complete day 8, and I'm loving how these layouts are coming together, how easy it is to put these spreads together in my scrappy spiral notebook. Anyways, you guys, I'm gonna wrap this up. Don't forget, everything I shared and used, I will add down in the description box for you. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing, and I hope to see you guys very soon. Bye.